Contact with Visegrad Relay was lost last night. All signals flatlined at 2600 hours. I responded with trooper fire teams, which have since been declared MIA.
And now you're sending us.
The Office of Naval Intelligence believes deployment of a Spartan team is a gross misallocation of valuable resources. I disagree.
Commander.
So that's our new number 6.
Cat, you read his file?
Only the parts that weren't covered.
But let's get started. Here we are on Winter Contingency. This is the only
Anyone
real
claim
annoying one.
responsibility,
But
sir?
right when you get out of the
Only
Falcon,
thinks
you
it
want to
might
start
be the
sprinting
local
immediately
insurrection.
and jump as you
5
go,
months
as you
ago,
land,
they
because
pulled a
that will give you a
similar
little
job
boost
on
sometimes if you
Harmony.
land on the
Hit a
inclines
relay
right,
to take out
and
our
that
eyes
will
and
get you
ears,
to
then
get to
stole
this
2
invisible
freighters from
elite that
dry
spawns
dock.
at the beginning of the mission. That's
That
why
cannot
you want to
happen
just start
here.
sprinting right away.
Reach is too
It's
damn important. I want that relay back online.
or some of the armor abilities
Sir,
that you use,
consider
it will
done.
send your camera
Then I'll
into
see you
a
on the other
third-person point
side.
of view instead of
Call it
first
out.
person, and then you could see what weapon you have out, or you could
Lieutenant.
see
Commander,
your
sir.
shield strength.
Card.
If you have all
Noble team's
staticky
lead.
electricity
That's
going
Cat,
all over your
Noble
body,
2,
that
Neil
means your
George
shields
4
are
and 5.
totally depleted. You could also
You're
tell
riding
what
with
gun
me,
you have
Noble
in your
6.
hands by the sound it makes when you
Not
pull it
gonna
out.
lie
You
to
could
you,
also tell
Lieutenant.
from your
You're
shadow if you
stepping
look at
into
the
some
ground.
shoes the rest of
You
the
could also
squad
tell
would
from the
rather
motion
leave
your camera
unfilled.
makes when you melee.
Me,
There's
I'm just
unique
happy to have Noble
kind
back
of
up to full strength. Just one thing,
Well, I found
I've
it's
seen
best
your
if you have the
file,
most annoying
even the
data
parts
from
the Oni
that the
sensors didn't
video
want me
past the
to.
first few encounters
Glad to have
on
your
the
skill
part of the
set.
map that doubles
But
as
we're
the
a
firefight
team.
map overlook.
That
You
lone
will
wolf
get to
stuff
this spade,
stays behind.
human civilian,
Clear?
vehicle
Got
here.
it,
You
sir.
just hop in, follow this path. We're going to go to one
Welcome
of the
to
first
Reach.
encounters here, and it's actually in the building on the right. So just follow this path. Just ignore all these enemies, ignore all the MOA. I know it's tempting to try to splatter them, but just ignore them. We can kill those later on our own time. This is data pad time right here, right now. So we're just going to go into this section. You can see there's a bunch of buildings surrounding this area, and to the right, the working motions that your camera makes when you melee. But even better, in Reach, you could actually just hold the back button, and
Listen
that
up,
will
Noble
allow
team.
you to
We're
see
looking
what
at a
weapon you
down
have out
relay
and what
outpost
armor
50
ability
clicks
you
from
have
Visegrad.
currently
We're
employed.
gonna
And of
introduce
course, for the
ourselves
targeting
to
reticle,
whoever
before you
took
go
it
into
out,
Lasso,
then
go into a
catch
custom
them and
game,
get
pick
it
up a
back
sniper rifle,
online.
and then take a small square piece of scotch tape and just put it right over your reticle, and then you could trace the reticle onto the scotch tape with a marker, and then that way when you go into Lasso, you'll have a makeshift targeting reticle, which makes shooting way more easy. Just a quick note on that is the fact that it is very useful, but it does have some limitations, mainly when you're on a turret or in a vehicle. Targeting reticles for those particular vehicles and turrets don't match up with what you normally have as a targeting reticle in regards to where it is on your screen. So anyways, we're getting into it right now. We're going to follow this path. We're going to sprint up here and hide behind this kind of scaffolding, so where it is on your screen. So
Shoot down attempts are likely, so keep your distance.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay focused. Watch your sectors.
There's the communications outpost.
Moving a distress beacon.
Could be the missing troopers. Let's check it out. Put us down on the bluff. June, I want your eyes on the sky. Sir. Let's go, 6. All right, Noble team, spread out. Watch the approach.
Structure point 34 is clear from this angle. Roger that. Eyes peeled. Hostile.
Smoke at the next structure, boss.
Circle west and check it out. Noble team, you have permission to engage, but be selective. We don't need to telegraph a presence. Noble 6, moving to the house. Going quiet. Right behind you.
Noble leader, I'm seeing heat sigs in the structure ahead.
What is that? They're no rebels.
Commander, be advised, I'm reading heat signatures in that structure directly east of your position. Over.
Noble team, double time it.
Damn.
Fill me in, Commander. What are you seeing? Over.
We've got military casualties, 2 of the missing troopers.
What's your motion trackers? What the hell is that? June, you see anything?
Boss, I see movement outside your structure.
Noble 2, move up to the left.
Damn it!
Company! Contact! Contact! Spartan, assist!
Here we go.
Into it right now. We're going to follow this path. We're going to sprint up here and hide behind this kind of scaffolding type material. Not very thick walls, but they work well enough. And we're just going to regain our sprint, and then we're going to...
They're heading into the basement. Move down to the lower level.
Banshees! Heads up, Charlie 1!
This is a very work well enough, and we're just going to regain our sprint, and then we're going to sprint down towards the river over here. Just hang to the right. This is a very safe, very reliable path.
Noble leader, enemy dropships inbound.
Falcon, moving to assist.
Here over the river, and we're just going to make our way to a second river, and we'll go upstream at that point. But we cross the first stream, go to the second one, and then go up the river. You can see I had my back button held down there so I could see what weapon and armor ability I had, and here we are at... to make our way upstream at this point, like I... Easy way to get past these first few encounters. It's a pretty easy way to get into Reach Lasso because the mission itself is one of the easier ones. So it's a nice little warm-up. But we're going to follow this path and jump up here onto this roof. And we are going to run over here as fast as we can, and then we're going to kind of crouch and hide in the corner here.
Covering.
By this rock, and we're going to wait for a few seconds so the elites can move up, and then that way we could have a clear, straight shot at getting to the next section. So after a few seconds, we're going to jump up over the rocks and sprint, and the elites don't follow you past this.
Heads up! Get
once you drop down, you're totally safe. And we could make our way to the Spade over here, this civilian vehicle. And it's not, an armored military vehicle or anything.
Commander, I'm seeing more hostile activity to the northeast.
Familiar with Cat. 6 and out.
And it's not, an armored military vehicle or anything, so no guns or anything on it, but it does make the mission go by a lot faster. There's a health pack on the ground there if you need it, so I grabbed that because I needed it. And you can wait for Carter and George if you would like. You don't need to. I just do it out of habit for no reason, really. They don't really help too much because we're just going to drive past a bunch of enemies. But follow this path. There's, I believe, 3 encounters up here at this point. You could either take a left or a right up here, and it's basically a circular map at this point. So we're just going to drive past 2 of the 3 encounters, and then we're actually going to fight the final encounter that we get to. So we just passed. So we're just up here at this point. You can really help too much because we're just going to.
Interference on the ground. Meet you at the outpost.
Number 3, west area. Over. Commander, I'm seeing more hostile activity to the northeast.
Familiar with Cat. 6 and out will run interference on the ground. We'll meet you at the outpost.
Number 3, requesting airlift. Over.
Get to work, Noble.
That's why they pay out the big bucks. I'm just getting warmed up. Here I come. Gas is on the right. Hit it.
Commander, I'm seeing more hostile activity to the northeast.
Familiar with Cat. 6. Get to work, Noble.
Noble leader, I'm seeing heat sigs in the structure ahead.
Enemies, but follow this path. There's, I believe, 3 encounters up here at this point. You could either take a left or a right up here, and it's basically a circular map at this point. So we're just going to drive past 2 of the 3 encounters, and then we're actually going to fight the final encounter that we get to. So we just passed that series of. We skipped. Now we're just cutting through another encounter, and we're totally safe here. Just driving past, and we'll go to the. We actually have to do something, but it's going to be pretty easy up here too, so don't worry. And we're going to, basically, we're actually going to drive past it first because these.
Boss, we're picking up a distress signal.
Mayday.
But it's going to be pretty easy up here too, so don't worry. And we're going to, basically, we're actually going to drive past it first because the Spirit dropship is pretty hefty in regards to its dropship gun, whatever it is. It's pretty devastating, so we want to just avoid taking.
3 Charlie 6, does anyone read? We were attacked by Covenant forces. The Covenant is on reach. I repeat, the Covenant is on reach.
Noble 3, we've located the trooper squad. Requesting me.
So I'm just going to drive past it and wait for that Spirit to leave. So now he's leaving, and Carter and George just don't know what to do. They're stuck between wanting to get back in my vehicle and going and fighting these coveys. So I drive up here and I try to splatter as many people as I can, usually only a couple, and I'm going to exchange my assault rifle with the DMR of one of these guys.
Solid copy, Commander. Recalling Falcon Charlie 2. Hold that evac position.
I want the DMR, so I'll grab that, and then I'll pick up the DMR ammo on the ground. You want to do that in that order. So grab his DMR, and then pick up the DMR ammo on the ground, and then make your way behind the structure following this path. But right here, I'm just showing you that you can look at your shadow on the ground to see what weapon.
Noble leader, be advised, I have visual.
Not totally necessary because, like I mentioned, you could just use the back button, but just another way to find out what you have out and available to shoot. So you can see right here, I'm just holding the back button for a better, easier way of doing that. Options are good, you know? So we're up here on the roof now, and it's a great spot to pick off all these grunts, and there's a handful of skirmishers. By handful, I mean only like 1 or 2 usually. So not many at all, really. Mostly grunts. There's going to be a couple elites as well. Looks like everyone has been dropped off. There are additional dropships that come, but it looks like that occurred while I was looking at my shadow. So we don't have to worry about taking fire from those dropships. So we're just going to lay into these guys. We have a Magnum and a DMR at this point. I'm using my Magnum. You have a lot of Magnum ammo to start the mission, so you should have still a lot because we didn't really use any until this point. So we're just taking these guys out. The grunts take 2 shots to the faceplate. The grunt ultras, these white grunts, they have basically the helmet, the face and head armor that they don't have in other video games. And by video games, I mean Halo games. That guy went flying. But so it takes 2 shots to take that helmet off, and then 1 more shot to headshot the grunt. So 3 is your ideal situation, 3 shots to take down a grunt. But basically, I'm just picking off these grunts at this point, and then we'll deal with the elites in a little bit. And also, you want to take out the skirmishers, because those guys could start shooting at you with the needler rifle that they have. But I'll start talking about the skulls again. Catch, enemies throw and drop more grenades, so that's pretty basic. Cowbell, acceleration from explosions is increased. Famine, weapons dropped by AI have half the ammo they normally would. That's not a great one. Don't like it. Don't like any of them, really. But the next one we have on the list is Fog, and this one is basically irrelevant due to the Blind Skull. The Blind Skull takes away everything on your heads-up display, and Fog takes away your motion tracker, so they kind of overlap a little bit and makes Fog just totally irrelevant in regards to Lasso. The next one is Grunt Birthday Party, and this one is also irrelevant in regards to difficulty. This just makes headshotting grunts leads to glorious celebrations with confetti and children cheering. It's great. Iron, this is a big one. Dying solo restarts the level. Dying on solo. If you're in co-op, you just get sent back to your last checkpoint if one of you dies. So that's just kind of annoying. But there's a workaround for the Iron Skull. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now, we've killed all of the grunts and the skirmishers, so it's just the elites left. So I just wrapped up around, follow that path. It's pretty easy. You don't have to do anything special. There's no. It seems like it should be off limit. Elites left, so there's a workaround for the Iron Skull. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now, we've killed all of the grunts. around, follow that path. It's pretty easy. You don't have to do anything special. There's no, it seems like it should be off limits, but for some reason there's not a barrier there. But we're going to go behind here, and this is a great spot to take cover if the elites see you. You can always just hide behind here and wait for them to stop paying attention to you. And it seems like the one of the elites was taken down by my friendlies down here, which is great, and it does happen sometimes. It will happen eventually if you just let it happen, but we're just going to accelerate things, just speed things up by...
Heads up! Going hot! Stay back! Fire! On the wall!
these elites when they're distracted and meleeing them, and then we're done. That's what we would have done if there were two of them. We just would have backsmacked two of them. But one thing I should have emphasized is you don't actually have to kill anybody at this point. We just partook in a big-ish battle. We picked off a bunch of grunts and stuff from on top of the roof, and then we assassinated an elite. You don't have to do any of that. You can just hide on the roof and wait for Noble Team to take them out for you. It will take a while. Sometimes it's faster than others. But anyway, we want to make sure that we have full health when we go to the next section. Not for anything in particular, really, but why not have full health?
Transport. LZ is clear. Move in for evac.
Affirmative.
So I'm going to grab a plasma pistol, and what I was doing there was overcharge plasma pistoling the wall, and I was right up against it, so the splash damage from that burst actually carries over onto me because I'm right next to the wall, and it depletes my shields and some of my health, and that way I could grab a health pack. Because if you have full health, you cannot grab a health pack even if your shields are all the way down. So by taking down my shield and my health a little bit, I was able to grab the health pack, and then that brings up my shield all the way and brings up my health all the way. So really we didn't have to kill anybody at this point. We started the mission by running past a bunch of people, then we got in that vehicle, we drove past a bunch of people, and then at that last battle we just had, like I mentioned, you don't have to do anything. You just hide up behind the building on top of the roof or behind a tree or something, and Noble Team will take out everybody for you. So really we don't have to do anything, and this upcoming section we also don't have to do anything. I'll show you where you could hide out.
Transport inbound.
There's a good ways into the bus. We can kill those later on our own time. This is
Noble Team will again just take out everybody that's necessary for the mission to progress. And we will talk about the Iron Skull up ahead there. But right now let's talk about the others real quick. I Would Have Been Your Daddy, or IWHBYD. Rare dialogue becomes more common. Mythic, enemies have increased health. Thunderstorm upgrades the ranks of most enemies. Tough Luck, enemies go berserk and dive out of the way of grenades and vehicles and stuff and never flee. Follow this path while I'm chatting. It's a very easy path. There's nothing really, there's no risk of getting killed or anything when you follow this path. And then we're just going to sprint in here where Cat is and just hide in the corner here. You could literally just stand right here in this corner. There's DMR right here and some health on the ground there and a nade. But you could just hide in this corner right here and just wait for a while, and Noble Team will take out all of the enemies necessary, and then they'll retreat back into the bunker here with you, and the door will close, and you could go to the next part of the mission. So you could just speed things up by helping them out by picking off some enemies like I am right now. But I'm actually going to die right here very shortly. And
outpost.
Drop us in the courtyard.
LZ's a little hot, sir.
Put her down, pilot. 6, break over.
Storm the position! Keep pouring it on!
Taking a little longer than I hoped, Commander. I've cut about halfway through the door.
Contact.
Going to show you how to get around the Iron Skull. But once that happens, we'll talk more. Plasma weapons are really good against shielded enemies, so they're good against taking the shields down of elites and brutes if they have shields, and also they're good at cutting through the actual shields as well. But the other side of that is human weapons are bad at getting through shielding. So those weaknesses and resistances are even more exaggerated with the tilt skull on. So basically human weapons, since they're bad at getting through shields normally, they're even worse at getting through shields with the tilt skull on. So basically you don't want to use a human weapon for the most part against a shielded enemy in Laso. So we're coming up upon my death here. Basically, I'm just like, hey, let me just help out Noble Team, trying to speed things up. This is my first rodeo here on Laso, and I'm about to get stuck by an elite because I'm sticking my head out too far. And I thought that was a Marine on the ground. I thought it was like Carter for a second. I'm like, how did he die? He's supposed to be invincible. But here we are. I'm sticking my head out too far. There's going to be an elite that comes up on my right and sticks me in a hot second. Where's he at? We're waiting for him. And what you want, there he goes. What you want to do right when you die, you just hit start, go to save and quit, hit yes. It'll kick you out to your loading screen here real quick. Very lovely. Halo Master Chief collecting. Then you'll come to the lobby, and you just want to select the playlist, Lasso playlist, whatever it says. Then select resume. Don't hit restart playlist. That would not be great, especially if you're on the last mission. Fortunately, we're only on the first mission, so it wouldn't be that bad if we hit that accidentally. But hit resume. It will then lead you to, if you want to enable scoring or time or whatever, and then just select whatever. Hit start, and then it will bring you to this loading screen. I sped this part up, otherwise it's unedited, so you know it works. Here we are back where we were, and that was our last checkpoint. So checkpoints don't pop up on screen letting you know that you got a checkpoint, but you do still get them throughout the mission. You just don't see them because of the blind skull. But what I did was I hid in the corner like I said you should. If you want to be super safe, just hide in that corner I was talking about. That's what I did. I skipped ahead like 3 or 4 minutes. It's not that long. It seems like a while when you're just sitting there, but it's not that long. If you think about it, 3 or 4 minutes for Noble Team to do that whole section for you. And then you just spawn in here. I like to set off those exploding gas tanks on the right side of the corridor here. And then I exchange my assault rifle for a DMR on the wall. We're going to take out these guys as they come towards us. You can throw a couple nades, you spawn with 2 frag grenades, so use those if you need to, especially if the enemies are coming towards your position. And I like to actually let them come towards my position a little bit, because then I can more easily grab a plasma pistol, which I'm going to use to take out this elite up here. There are a few options to take out this elite, but you don't want him to retreat, because then he's harder to deal with later. So what we're going to do is take him out here, and there's a few options to do that. One is when you're done with the later, which I'm going to use, these are coming out these guys, do that whole 4 minutes. It's not that long.
Can't see a thing. Noble 6, turn on your night vision.
Number 6, search that body.
Where's
It's not that long, if you think about it, 3 or 4 minutes for Noble Team to do that whole section for you. And then you just spawn in here. I like to set off those exploding gas tanks on the right side of the corridor here. And then I exchange my assault rifle for a DMR on the wall. And we're going to take out these guys as they come towards us. You could throw a couple nades. You spawn with 2 frag grenades, so use those if you need to, especially if the enemies are coming towards your position. And I like to actually let them come towards my position a little bit, because then I can more easily grab a plasma pistol, which I'm going to use to take out this elite up here. There are a few options to take out this elite, but you don't want him to retreat, because then he's harder to deal with later. So what we're going to do is take him out here, and there's a few options to do that. One is when you're done with the jackals and grunts, you could just lay into him with the DMR. There's a bunch of DMR ammo, but like I was talking about with the tilt skull, the DMR, since it's a human weapon, is not good at getting through his shielding. So you're going to have to basically lay into him with not all, but most of your DMR ammo and land most of your shots in order to tear through those shields. Another way you could get through and kill this elite is to just grab a plasma pistol, but then immediately run back to your original position. You want to do that because if you move up and stay up, that elite will just run to the final section, and then he'll be harder to kill in there. So you want to grab a plasma pistol if you can, which is why I let the enemies kind of move forward a little bit, so that plasma pistol could get closer to me. And then I could grab it, run back here, and then we're just going to pepper him from afar. Just shoot him a little bit. He'll sidestep every now and then, just, reposition and shoot more. It'll take a while. It seems like it's not being effective, but it is. Just kind of, you got to commit to it. But also you want to make sure that you're shooting this plasma pistol with these tiny shots. You don't want to actually use an overcharged plasma pistol burst like you would think you would want to do normally. If you're playing like regular legendary, you would want to use a plasma pistol overcharged burst to take down a shield all in one burst, but that doesn't happen on Lasso. So you just want to shoot from afar. More shots when you shoot these tiny shots. If you use an overcharged plasma pistol burst, you only have like 2-3 shots with that before your ammo is totally out. But you have a ton of shots from plasma pistols on the ground, even with the famine skull on, when you just shoot those tiny shots. So we are going to move forward now. We took out that.
This ain't good.
into these jackals, you're actually in a very safe position right here. They can't really shoot at you. They don't like to shoot your head. They like to shoot your chest, basically. So if your chest is obscured, they'll just shoot at that, and they won't actually hit you. So I kind of just have my head popping up over the geometry here, so I can get shots on them, but they can't really get too many shots on me. So that's a good position to be in, especially with the jackals who have shields. Not fair. We were just hiding behind our own little makeshift shield there. But we're going to move forward here, and you want to be careful in this part because they throw a lot of nades, the grunts. So you want to make sure you're kind of cautious in this part because you could just move up and then all of a sudden like 3 grunts come around the corner and start shooting at you and throw a nade. So you want to be cautious here, especially since we're at the end. But another way you could take out the elite that we initially fought in this section is you could wait for George to move forward, and George will be able to take down the shield in one way or another, whether it's just shooting him or eventually closing the gap and meleeing him, or a combination of the two, and then you just pot shot him from afar with your DMR. It rhymed. Just a one headshot kill to make it easy. You will have to wait for that to happen though. Or another option is you can wait for George to move towards the elite and then move past the elite, getting the elite to turn around and face George, and then his back will be to you. So by that point, you could just move forward and melee the elite in the back, but that is more risky, obviously. You're closing the gap. The elite could turn around and see you and just melee you or shoot you. Either way, he's got a concussion rifle, so not he's pretty dangerous. So not recommended to get too close to him. If you're not sure, you can melee him and kill him off. But we're moving forward here. There's 4 grunts, and none of them have those helmets on, so they're just one headshot.
Suppressing fire.
There's more. Flush them out. I've got you covered.
Engaging.
And we got all 4. We're going to jump on this pipe. We're going to jump onto the wall here. And we're going to run across the wall to the back over here. We're going to hit the wall, jump up on this shelf, whatever it is. We're just going to hide here and there you can see that little thing at head level. You want to crouch to kind of wedge yourself even further in here to be even more hidden. A lot of times the Sword Elite will go follow the path he just took and immediately go fight George. Back and takes some coaxing to come out. You gotta like shoot him a little bit to convince him to come out. Another thing he likes to do is get stuck halfway in between, and at that point you could try to melee him in the back for the one hit kill. And one option is you could go up behind him right now and just melee him because his back is to us, obviously. Another option would be to continue peppering him with the plasma pistol that I thought I had. Apparently I have a needler that I picked up at one point. I meant to exchange it for a fresh plasma pistol, but I guess I accidentally picked up a needler instead. But either way, you could just grab one of the plasma pistols off the ground from one of these. Finish him off with a headshot, or if you want to get really close and try to smack him in the back, that's your prerogative, I suppose. But the safer one, obviously, being shooting him from afar with the plasma pistol and then finish him off with a headshot. But anyway, we went into that room and we activated that computer, which normally is lit up by a nav point, but you kind of have to know where the nav points are because there are no nav points with the blind soul, which is kind of a unique thing, I think, to reach. There's no nav points, so if you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you need to activate, you're going to have a tough time, especially on New Alexandria. But that's a tease for the New Alexandria Lasso level. Not great in regards to its randomness and the very heavy reliance on nav points. But anyway, that is the first of 9 missions on Lasso, Winter Contingency in the books. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next installment where we tackle Oni Sword Base. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found that video helpful, be sure to click on the scorpion icon to subscribe.
When will the station be back online? 2 weeks, earliest. This is plasma damage. All major uplink components have fried.
2 minutes is too long.
Which is why I'm splicing into the
What's up, guys? Silver here with part 2 of our journey through Halo Reach.
You're in my light, Commander.
Find out what she knows.
What's your name? Do you live around here? Arnevim George.
Shada.
Shada? C'est Nev. Your accent sounds familiar. Chapron?
Tangari.
Friend of yours?
Father.
Sha'ainalom. I'm sorry.
Why would you be?
Big man forgets what he is sometimes.
She just lost her father. She needs a full psychiatric workup.
She's not the only one.
Lock it down, both of you. Get her on her feet. The body stays here.
Thank you, sir.
Signal. It's patchy, but it's there.
I'll take it.
Let's not touch anything. You wouldn't want to ground this place.
Barely getting you. What's your situation? Over?
Colonel, this is Noble 1. There are no rebels.
So this is Oni Sword Base, the second playable mission. We're going to spawn in here with Cat on our side, and we're going to face a bunch of enemies who we actually probably want to kill, unlike the last mission where we ran past most of the enemies. We want to kill a good amount of these guys. So we're going to start by jumping on this box, jump up on those barrels so you can get to the box, and then we're going to start shooting those jackals. I let these grunts move up a little bit so I could get their plasma pistol more easily once I do kill them. So focus on those jackals to the upper left. Closer, you could start taking those guys out. And once we do that, we're going to go towards the right and hug the wall, and we're going to spawn in the Phantom that comes in. So we don't want to kill too many people because that will get the Phantom to come in automatically if we kill enough people. So I like to kill about 6 people, and then I'll run over and go to the wall over there, which you'll see in a second. Over. Are we going to head over? Yeah, let's go right now. We're going to head over here to this wall, and then we're going to move up into this corner, and that will get the Phantom to come in, and you'll see him come overhead right now. There he is. So I just like to control when the Phantom comes in. I don't...
Push back the attack on Sword Base. Find out what would...
pad, and you'll spawn here with this Warthog, the Gauss Warthog, so it's a pretty hefty one, and we're going to spawn at the one of the most played maps in Reach. This is at the end of the mission, and if you've played enough, you know where the shotgun spawns, and that is where the data pad is. So we're going to go over here. If you don't know where the shotgun is, don't worry, we'll go over there right now. There's kind of this middle bridge in the middle of the map. There's a lower bridge over there. There's the middle bridge right here I'm going to cross, and there's the higher bridge up there. So I'm going to cross this middle bridge. That brings us to this kind of white room with red tile. We're going to go over here, and right under this ramp where the shotgun would spawn.
Roger that. Bring a strike team.
Be standing out in the open, and we're actually going to juggle this target locator and this plasma pistol. So we're going to have 3 weapons. We have the DMR in our back pocket, and we're juggling the target locator and plasma pistol, and we want to juggle it to this gray triangle type thing. We don't want to cross those gray lines that I'm looking at right now. Ignore those. We want to go in between those 2 gray lines. So we're going to go onto that gray trapezoid type thing, juggle the weapons over here, plasma pistol and target locator.
Recon Team Bravo reporting in. 3 and 6 in position. It's starting to get crowded up here, Cat.
Then we're closing in. Report to any Covenant structures or devices. Direct action may be necessary.
Copy that. When Cat runs an op, direct action is always necessary. Here, you may need these. High velocity, armor piercing. They'll take the hat off an elite at 2,000 yards. And they ain't cheap. I'll be in touch.
Recon Bravo. The sector ahead is dark to electronic surveillance.
Covenant can invoke our instruments?
So it would seem. And Command wants to know what they're hiding.
Elite, he's yours. Do it quiet.
Recon Bravo to Noble 2. Stand by for contact report.
Standing by to copy, over.
We have eyes on multiple hostiles patrolling a settlement. This what we're looking for, Cat?
Negative. Too small. You're not in the dark zone yet. Engage at your own discretion, but keep moving.
You heard us, 6. Drop those tangos.
Affirmative, Recon Bravo. It's an indigenous creature called Guta.
6, there's a trail up ahead, through the rocks. Let's take it.
Nightfall, super easy to get to, could be done on any difficulty. Right in the beginning of the mission, turn to the right and go into this passage, and then there's this part where you have to protect the militia. You could actually skip this entire part and just ignore them and just continue through the mission.
Magnums, security sidearms, standard issue. I'm thinking more local militia. They've engaged hostiles.
Move to assist. They may have intel we need.
You heard us, 6. Keep those civilians alive.
Give us a hand! Bastards just keep coming! Look out!
Just got more interesting. Fantastic. I'm under fire!
Than we're used to. You Spartans are good in a fight.
What are you doing here? Whole area is supposed to be evacuated.
Didn't like leaving it to someone else to protect our home, so we came back. For this. We have them hidden all over the territory.
You know, this stuff is stolen.
What, you gonna arrest me?
No, I'm gonna steal it back.
Another dropship coming in.
show us. Where does this riverbed lead?
Straight to the hydro plant. We dammed this river up 45 years ago.
Plant powers every settlement in the territory. Shame if it all gets wasted.
Doing what we can. Cat, are you seeing this? Covenant structure. Kind of a big pylon. Heavily fortified.
That's the source of our dark zone.
Okay. Consider it gone.
Negative. Stick a remote dead charge on it. Command is planning something big. They say that pylon died at dawn.
We're gonna blow it?
We're gonna clear the area, then I'm gonna plant a remote dead charge. You wanna provide some cover? Go right ahead.
Bravo to Noble 2. Charge plane.
Somewhere inconspicuous, I hope?
Stuck it inside the pylon's power supply.
Alright, keep pushing into the dark zone. Command wants to know what the Covenant are hiding.
There's a gate to the southeast of the hydro plant.
Copy. Uploading security codes to you now.
Okay, got him. Unlocking the gate.
Recon Bravo. We're heading into the dark zone now.
Understood. Phantom, a little too close for comfort. This one's mine. Keep on target. Little wide of mud. A lot of air traffic around here, 6. I think we're getting warm. I have visual on operation 2. Clear. Time to play, boys. What's next?
Solid copy. Don't stop now.
Yes, very good. Confirm, all clear. Noble doesn't need any more dead in their ranks. What the hell?
Jackpot. Transmitting visual. You've seen this, Cat?
Confirmed. Receiving Nova 3 and Nova 6 live visual of a Covenant strike force.
It's no strike force. It's an invading army. If we're gonna smother this thing, we need to go in hard and fast.
Agreed. All recon teams disengage and fall back. Sun will be up in a few hours, and it's going to be a very busy day.
It appears that Noble Team's discovery last night was not an anomaly. Large Covenant deployments have occurred undetected, and we are now under attack across the Vieri territory, including orbital defenses. As per the winter contingency, we are countering on every front. Noble's reconnaissance has also identified sophisticated Covenant army hiding canopies, and has pinpointed what's believed to be a landing zone for additional Covenant forces, the origin of which is yet to be determined.
That landing zone has been tagged by UNSC Command as a Priority 1 target.
Discharge link is loud and clear. Copy that. Acquiring signal lock on the pylon. Detonating in 3, 2.
Incoming!
Might want to hold on to something. Six! Can you hear me? Six, you all right? I could use some help.
On my way.